planning to spend some time as a stay-at-home mom, but Alpha, which her family partially owns, was struggling with Riyadh's underperforming Harvey Nichols store. She had a few ideas about how to turn it around. Quote, "It hadn't been renovated in a while, so we started with that. We gutted the store and started from scratch with empty shelves." And then soon she found herself running the entire Alpha operation. One of the reasons the Harvey Nichols store has been so successful in integrating women is that it provides the workplace accommodations that go far beyond American standards. For one thing, women still can't legally drive in Saudi Arabia, so the company provides transportation to and from work. It's also among the few Saudi workplaces that offer daycare. I wanted to avoid the obstacle of the mother-in-law or husband at home saying, "Who's going to take care of the children?" she says. And the company lets employees make their own decisions about whether to wear a veil, a major personal choice for Saudi women. "I will never ask a lady to cover or uncover her face," she says. And of course, this article from Fast Company magazine.
Sidestep the little bits of history repeating.
History repeats, and thousands of pages of documents from President Bill Clinton's White House affirm a long-time adage that the more things change, the more they stay the same. As Clinton prepared for an August 1994 news conference in which he hoped to build some public support for his struggling and ultimately unsuccessful health care overhaul, he told his advisors, "A lot of them want to know they can keep their own plan if they like it." Later that fall, Clinton's Democrats were routed in midterm elections and lost control of Congress. Nearly 2 decades later, President Barack Obama sought to reassure Americans about his own plan, which won approval in Congress in 2010, by telling them, "If you like your plan, you can keep it." A spate of private policy cancellations forced Obama to recant his pledge that all Americans who like their plans could simply keep them. More than 8 million people have signed up for the health insurance under the Obamacare law. How the overhaul is perceived could become a deciding point for the fate of Obama's fellow Democrats in the 2014 midterm elections. As of this recording, Nate Silver is saying that it's not looking good for Democrats in the Senate, that more seats will end up going to Republicans. About 7,500 pages of records released through the National Archives and the Clinton Presidential Library in Little Rock, Arkansas, show the parallels between the Clinton era and the White House under Obama. When we go to sleep at night, when the lights go out, our brains start working, but in an altogether different way than when we're awake. At night, a legion of neurons spring into action. The cells work in perfect synchrony, pulsing with electrical signals that wash over the brain with a shooting hypnotic flow. Meanwhile, data processors sort through the ream of information that flooded the brain all day at a pace too overwhelming to handle in real time. The brain also runs checks on itself to ensure that the exquisite balance of hormones, enzymes, and proteins isn't too far off kilter. And all the while, cleaners follow in close pursuit to sweep out the toxic detritus we'll say it right one of these times, that the brain doesn't need and which can cause all kinds of problems if it builds up. This according to Time magazine. Scientists are just now learning this is the brain on sleep. It's nature's panacea, more powerful than any drug in its ability to restore and rejuvenate the human brain and body. Getting the recommended 7 to 8 hours each night can improve concentration, sharpen planning and memory skills, and maintain the fat-burning systems that regulate our weight. If every one of us slept as much as we're supposed to, we'd all be lighter, less prone to developing type 2 diabetes, and most likely better equipped to battle depression and anxiety. We might even lower our risk of Alzheimer's disease, osteoporosis, and cancer. With up to 7 million of us not getting a good night's sleep on a regular basis, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention considers insufficient sleep a public health epidemic. In fact, experts argue sleep is emerging as so potent a factor in better health that we need a societal shift and policies to support it to make sleep a non-negotiable priority. In fact, the cause of sleep deprivation doesn't always originate in family strife, financial concerns, or job-related problems. The way we live now, checking our phones every minute, hyper-scheduling our days or our kids' days, not taking time to relax without a screen in front of our faces, it contributes to regular flow of stress hormones like cortisol, and all that artificial light and screen time is disrupting our internal clocks. Simply put, our bodies don't know when to go to sleep naturally anymore. The ideal is to reset the body's natural sleep-wake cycle, a matter of training our bodies to sleep similar amounts every night and wake up at roughly the same time each day. An even better way to rediscover our natural cycle is to get as much exposure to natural light as possible during the day, while limiting how much indoor lighting, including from our computer and television screens, we see at night. And of course, the best way to accomplish that is by making those 7 to 9 hours of sleep a must, not a luxury.
It's a question of trust. It's a question of trust. It's a question of love. What we built up.
Until almost 2 years ago, online dating involved a series of agonizing questions. Do I like her? Does she like me? Do I like her more than she likes me? Sean Rad and Justin Mateen cleaned all that up with the swipe of a thumb. And this is from fastcompany.com. Their app, Tinder, enables singles to vote yay by swiping right or nay by swiping left on potential mates based on their photos, locations, and other data scraped from their Facebook profiles. It's an intuitive interface that captures the moment when your eyes connect with someone. Mateen says it also is based on ideally the feeling that you need to know someone, which is to say, using Tinder is like falling in love, or at least shopping for lust. The app's simplicity and guarantee of mutually assured attraction, potential couples are notified only if both parties swiped right, have made people fall in love with Tinder as well. The app's simplicity and guarantee of mutually assured attraction, potential couples are notified only if both parties swiped right, have made people fall in love with Tinder as well. The app generated 10 million matches and 700 million swipes per day, up from 400 million a year ago, and has partnered with popular dating site OkCupid to improve the user experience of OkCupid Locals, and both companies are owned by media conglomerate IAC. Next for Rad and Mateen is functionality to help users re-find the ones who got away. We will be solving that in a fun, lightweight manner that's very much Tinder, Mateen says.
If you know that I won't be home, it's a question of lust. It's a question of trust.
As we go outside of the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in PodCastro Valley, California.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And the picture today was taken in Alameda this past week. And I was with Basil the Boxer. That's him. And he saw a squirrel and he went nuts. And he was like trying to climb this tree. And it was there in Alameda at this park called Shoreline Park, and there's a cool marina there. It's a cool little picture. See it now. MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Oh my God, I love Basil the Boxer. He's like so cute. You know he is. And today I went to the Castro Valley High School homecoming parade that they do this time of year. And he and I were standing on a street sort of at the beginning of the parade where there wasn't that many people. And all the kids walking by, they see Basil, and some of them are like, oh, he's so cute, look at him. And kids were petting him, and they were, blowing whistles and blowing these horns that, sound. And Basil was howling. It was interesting. He wanted to be part of the parade, I think. But I think he's only, 6 years old? It's a while till he's in high school. Or if you multiply that by 7, he's way past high school at this point. So it just, either way, he loses. Sorry, Basil. But possibly tonight I will go see the homecoming game. I have never been to a Castro Valley homecoming game, and I think I might go this evening, which I think it's going to start in a couple hours, so I better hurry up. oh my God, Mike Matthews, I have never been to a homecoming game. Like, can I go with you? That'd be like so awesome. Sure. Are you going to buy me like those Fritos that they sell, like a bag of Fritos, and they put chili in it? Do they still do that at high school games? They used to do that at the high school games I went to. I hope so. It's like so delicious and ghastly for my intestinal system. I think for most people's intestinal systems. So next show, we're going to have a really special guest that he started this website, this social, I guess it's like a social, well, it's a crowdsource type thing, like Kickstarter, only instead of starting, raising money to, I don't know, fund your trip to Germany or start your company that makes floating skateboards like from Back to the Future, they crowdsource concerts. So like if there is a band you really like, or let's say you're in a band and you want to like raise money so that you can do a concert at some cool venue that you've never played at, they do crowdsourcing for that. So we're going to talk to this guy that started this website, and that'll be on our Into an Interview segment on Monday. We'll also hear from Benita, the disgruntled fiddle player, and the brewmaster.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
I don't know what you're concerned about, Floyd. There's a bunch of nude pictures of you in our underground magazine that we're working on. Oh, yeah! I feel ill.